Hello everyone, welcome back to Indo Love Creations channel. Today is a special day. Today we're gonna make Indo Love Creation first bag pattern. This is the first bag. It's beginner friendly. It's a really good size for your daily bag. So it has a huge slip pocket in the back, and it has a slip pocket right here in the front. Fits your keys, your phones, and then the inside it has another slip pocket. Also, this bag has really minimum hardware, so they're really lightweight. And the other amazing part is the strap. Right now, you can adjust the strap without needing a adjuster, those tri-glide adjuster. So right now I'm setting mine at a shoulder length. I'm 5'4", so this is what it looks like at shoulder length. And then if I want to make it into a crossbody, just open this flap and pull the strap, close the flap, and there we go. We have a crossbody. Isn't that cool? So if you're new to my channel, please consider to subscribe, and then let's have fun making this bag. Okay, let's talk about materials. I'll be using Kaya Collection vinyls for the exterior, the graphite color as exterior B, and then the sea salt color as exterior A. And then for the lining, I'll be using Polytech. They look like this. Polytech is the steel color. They're waterproof. And then I'll be using Grip Lock graphite color for my strapping. And then for interfacing, I'm using Decaville Light. That's the brand that I'm using. And then if you can't find any Decaville Light, you can use the IndoFuse Plus. Not the IndoFuse regular, it's the Plus. And then you can double this up. It will give you that stiffness that you need. And then for the base, instead of Decaville Heavy, I'm using Pelon Peltex. That's it on interfacing. For hardware, we need some rivets. This is medium size, 8 to 9 millimeters. Post length, post and the cap size should be okay. And then 1.5 inch O-ring, just one of those. A pair of 1 inch rectangular rings, and then 2 sets of magnets, 18 millimeters. And then don't forget your logo. And then for other supplies, you're gonna need a press, rivet press. This is from Cam Snaps. And then you will need a hole puncher and scissors, some seam ripper. Hopefully I don't need to use those. Some marking pens, the disappearing marking pens, and regular pen, rulers, pliers. What I'm using the pliers is for the magnet to get the prongs in, because they can get really hard sometimes. So I just use pliers to fold it in. And then hammer, again for the prongs. And then rotary cutter, a lot of sewing clips, duct tape to cover those washers, that way it's not ruining your material over time. A lot of double-sided tape. This is the 3/8 and this is a 1/4 inch. And oh, don't forget stapler. That will help you sew through the curves. And for the thread, because I'm gonna use a mix between my domestic and industrial, I'm using Tech 70 gray. That's on my industrial, and then I have the same color, the Tech 45, on my domestic machine. That's it, and let's get started. Okay, first let's grab the connector piece, and then we're gonna draw a line across the middle, lengthwise. I have my silver pen here. Okay, and then we're gonna need double-sided tape. I'm gonna put it on each side of the line. Right there. Okay. The other side. Okay. Now we're gonna peel. I'm gonna fold to that drawn line. Do that on the other side. Okay. Perfect. Now we're gonna sew right here an 1/8 top stitch. Should be good. Okay, now all stitched out. Now we're gonna divide this to 3 equal parts. It's gonna be 3 inches from the short end here, and then 3 inches on the other short end. And it should give you equal part. Perfect. Snip and snip. Now we have 3. Put that aside for now. Next we need our trim, and we're gonna apply double-sided tape on one of the edge right here. Just put it along the edge, but don't peel it. Just put it there for later. Just right there. Just set it aside. Let's take our flat piece and your pattern piece A. And okay, first we're gonna cut this marking right here where it says connector placement, because we're gonna use these marking, transfer it to our flap. So lay the piece right here on top, make sure the edges is aligned. Get my pen, and I'm gonna put a little bit pressure on that marking so I get transferred to my flap. Yep, I can see it right here. And we're gonna flip it. Do the same thing to connect that marking. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we're gonna cut this marking. I'm gonna use, if you're gonna use rotary cutter like me, be really careful not to cut beyond those marking. Just a smidge. Now I'm gonna continue with scissors. Just like that. Okay. Now take one of your connector, and then I'm gonna mark an inch from the short edge. Mark it on the wrong side, okay? So it won't visible. Okay, like that. Now I'm gonna insert this through the opening that we made earlier. Carefully, you don't want to rip this thing. And then stop where that line meet the edge of the cutout here. Okay, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna sew across through both of these pieces. Okay, now we're gonna sew through these two pieces at an 1/8 seam allowance. Okay, be careful not to sew past the connector itself. Okay, place your needle where you want it to be and go. Okay, I'm gonna back stitch here. Make sure they secure. Okay. Now let's grab your O-ring. Gonna put the connector through the O-ring, and we're gonna slip the other edge of the connector through that same hole right here while folding the flap back and catch and pull from the wrong side, just like that. Okay, now you see, if you look from the front, it looks nice and neat. It's tucked in. Now we're gonna top stitch right here at an 1/8, and then we're gonna install a rivet. Okay, on this one I like to keep my thread long, and we're not gonna back stitch. Okay, gonna make a nice neat top stitching here. Okay, I think I'm gonna flip it this way. There you go. If you have a narrow feet, you might want to use it. I don't have a narrow feet on mine, but it should be okay. So I'm gonna place my needle first down where I want it to be. I don't want it past the connector on the edge. Okay, and hold this thread carefully. You're gonna go slow. And stop just right there at the other end. And pull your needle up. Same thing, I'm gonna keep the thread long here. Now we're gonna pull this thread to the back. So if you tug this bobbin thread a little bit, it will pull the front thread to the back. There you go. And then we're gonna tie this off. Like 2 or 3 knots should be okay. Snip. So now we're gonna add rivets right in the middle, centered, about 3" up from that edge right here. Okay, so I have my ruler right here. I measure 3/8 inch up and mark my pen where the hole's gonna be for my rivet. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my hole punch. Let's see if I can reach it. If not, I have to use the cam. Oh, I can. I think I can. Right there. Wait. No wonder. Okay, try again. Ah! Oh, I can. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Get the small one. There you go, medium size. The rivet through. Perfect. Grab my press. I'm gonna press these. Perfect. Okay. Our decorative doorknobs O-ring is done. Next, we're gonna add this trim around our flap. So grab your pattern piece A. I'm gonna transfer the marking for the trim, which is right here. Flip it over. The same marking over here. Okay, now we have our marking. Now we're gonna peel the backing of this DST. I'm gonna fold our trim in half, lengthwise. Okay. So the other side here. Okay. Now we're gonna fold this in half because we want to find the midpoint of this trim. Okay, it's right here. Just gonna mark it. Now we're gonna find the midpoint already have the midpoint here, but I'm going to transfer it to the front. Okay. Sorry. Now we're going to match the midpoint on this trim to the midpoint on your flap. Make sure the raw end of the trim align with the raw end of the flap. We're gonna use clips. A little tip when we're going over the curve right here, I like to make tiny notches on my trim, just small ones, just to help me ease the trim through the curves on the flap. I'm gonna use a lot of clips here. Alright, I'm gonna do the same thing here. So make notches, just small notches. Okay. Now, you see how we about to approach the marking right here? So, we want to bend this out like so. Bend it out. Same thing with this. You're gonna bend it out. That's the marking right there. Right here. There, bend out. Now we're gonna stitch all around right here at an 8 seam allowance. So I'm starting from that marking that we made on the flap. Put my needle down right there. Okay. Couple stitch, back stitch. Go straight. I like to use pincet. What do you call this? Tweezers. In Indonesia, we call it pincet. Just to make sure they're not moving. sure you get your o-ring out of the way, okay? Pin set again. We're about to approach the other mark right here. So don't stitch going outwards following the trim. You're gonna stitch straight, aiming towards that dot, okay? Perfect. And back stitch. And there you go. Okay, now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna attach the magnets on our flap lining piece. So put this exterior flap aside for a minute. Grab your pattern A again. You're gonna transfer the marking for the magnet on this lining piece. Okay, somewhere here. Okay, so now let's grab our magnet. Okay, so we're gonna take the male side of the magnet. I'm gonna use the washer here to make our marking for the prongs. Okay, now we're gonna cut this marking. Okay. From there. This is a piece of Peltex that I cut same size like the washer, and then I also put a marking there and then make the cut for the prongs. It just helps to keep they're secure. Okay, so this is when I need my pliers because this thing can get hard to bend sometimes. I like to bend mine inwards. And I use the hammer. Just gently hammer it in. That's it. Then grab a duct tape. It's a bit too big. We don't need a big piece of these. That's good. You just want to protect that metal so it won't rub with your material. Okay, that's our magnet. Now grab our exterior flap again, and we're gonna place this lining right side down. Okay, now they're right side together with the exterior. We're gonna clip along the side here, the three sides. Okay, now I have mine all nice and clipped. We're gonna sew along the 3 sides at a 1/4 inch. So leave this top part open. Don't sew this part right here. Just right here. Okay, got a 1/4 inch seam allowance here. Back stitch well. There you go. Now we can trim this trim with the trim ears right here, and then we're gonna cut notches on this curve. That way when we birth this flap, the corners will be nice. Okay, I'm gonna cut the ears here. And I'm gonna make notches on this curve right here. I like to make triangle notches. Just be careful not to cut your stitches. If you have a what do you call it, the scissors, the special scissors that can cut notches like this, you can use that. It's probably easier. Okay, this side now. Ooh, almost cut my stitches right there. One more. There you go. Nice. Now we're gonna birth the flap. Carefully birth this flap. Okay. pull the trim. Out, or push it from underneath. You can do that too. There you go. This one's stuck a bit. There. Gonna smooth this all out. Smooth it out. You can use clip too. I'm gonna use clip. Make it all nice. Okay, now it's all smoothed out and clip in place. Begin a top stitch. Okay. Along just this green color, the sea salt color. Don't stitch the trim. You stitch right here on the green one. An 1/8 seam allowance all around. Still leave this top open. Don't sew this one. Leave it open. Okay. Stitch well. There you go. Almost done. Okay, next, take your flap stabilizer. I'm using Peltex, and we're gonna insert it through this opening right here. I like to roll it a little bit. You can see, make sure it fits inside of your top stitching. You can always trim this if it doesn't fit. If you think it's too big, you can always trim it. Make sure it falls inside that top stitching right there. So I just roll it here. And flatten them up. go. See, now you see how your flap, it's stiff now. Your flap is done. Moving on to making the back pocket exterior, you're gonna need 4 pieces: the back pocket lining, back pocket exterior, the back top, and the back bottom. So make sure you find the midpoint first. You fold it in half like this, and then make notches top and bottom on all 4 pieces. We also gonna need a set of magnets here for our pockets. Okay, so first thing first, we're gonna need the lining, the back pocket lining. We're gonna install the magnets. So we're gonna use the male side, yep, because the female side's gonna be attached to the back bottom. So the male side, we're gonna attach it right here on the right side. Be 1 3/4 inches down from the top. Okay, I got my square ruler here. I'm gonna place the corner right here on that middle notch, and then I'm gonna measure down 1 3/4 inches and make a mark, just a tiny dot. And I'm gonna use the washer and then mark the prong placement for my magnets, just like that. I'm gonna grab my scissors, make a fold right in the middle of that mark and snip. Okay, now grab my male magnet and flip it wrong side up. Put my Peltex, is that in? That's not in. There you go. My washer and my pliers. Bend the prong inwards, and I'm gonna use my hammer. Put the duct tape over it so the metal's not rubbing your fabric. Okay, so that part is done. Now we're gonna grab our back slip pocket exterior, and we're gonna align the top part right here. So our lining and our exterior is gonna be right side together. Gonna clip the top right here. I like to clip around, match all that midsection, midpoints, I mean. Make sure they're not gonna shift on me when I sew it. Okay, now we're gonna sew this top at 3/8 at 3/8 seam allowance, just the top part right here. Okay, now we're gonna flip the lining. We're gonna fold the top. So now the lining, it's wrong side together with your exterior. And we're gonna top stitch right here at 1/8. I'm gonna use clips again. Make sure. I'm gonna start from the bottom right here, match my midpoint. Match my curves. And then press. Okay. That's good. Let's top stitch. Okay, we're done with this. Next, take your back top piece and your finished flap. Gonna place them. You're gonna align. Okay, find the middle section, the midsection first on that flap. Okay, and then we're gonna align that midsection with the midsection of your back top, like so. I'm gonna clip this together, and then we're gonna baste it at 1/4 inch. I use a lot of clips here so they don't shift. So it's gonna look like this. Base 1/4 inch, right there. Now that's the flap and the back top based together. Grab your back bottom, which is a lining material, and then we're gonna sandwich the flap in between the back top and the back bottom. So the back bottom face down, right side down, and then we're gonna match this midpoint. And then we're gonna sew at 3/8. Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna clip this here, right here, and right here. I like to clip the side too, just so they don't shift. I think I'm gonna clip it side of the back top here. Okay. Let's sew this at 3/8. Now we're gonna flip the back top up away from the flap, and then we're gonna top stitch right here at 1/8. I'm gonna top stitch right here at 1/8.
Okay, so
next
this
we are
is
instruction
what
our
your
front
piece
panel
looking like now.
for the bag.
The flap
Go
already
ahead,
attached
grab
to the
your
back
front slip pocket exterior,
panel, and then
flip
now we're
so
gonna
it's wrong
install
side
the
up.
female side of the magnet.
Grab a ruler and your marking pen.
To do so, we need to measure
1
3/8
inches down from the
from the left, and then 1 inch down. I'm gonna mark right here.
So 4 3/8
Okay,
from the left,
like that.
1 inch down, and then
Measure
again
at the
2
top of
inches
that
down from the
back
top.
bottom right here. Let me show it to you. Let me zoom it in a little bit. There you go. You see how my
So
1
now you
inch
should
mark
have a half
right
inches
at the edge of this
gap
gray
in between the
material
two
meet the
lines.
sea salts.
So
the green.
now we're gonna measure
So
1
4
inch
3/8 from the
in
left.
from the side, from each side.
Okay, and 1 inch down.
Complete a box here.
Just right here. A dot. Tiny dot. So we're gonna use the washer again.
Okay. Now we got our box.
My washer.
We're gonna draw a line in between this box because this box is 1/2 inches gap, so the middle line's gonna be 1/4 inch.
Perfect. I need my scissors.
Right here. Alright. Now we're gonna measure 3/8. We got 1/4 inch line in the middle right there. We're gonna measure 3/8 from each side, from the left and from the right. 3/8 in
This
from the left and 3/8 in from the right.
my Peltex. The washer.
Better. My pliers. 3/8 from here. Right there. And 3/8 from here.
And hammer.
And we're gonna make a diagonal from this corner to this point.
Duct tape.
Same thing on this side. That's it. Draw here. Draw here.
So now
Let's grab. That's what the
pocket
drawing
that
looks
we
like
did
now.
earlier. Now we're gonna use
So
the
now
magnet.
to align them,
We're going to cut. There you go.
going to cut a slit
Now we're gonna
right
clip
here, the middle line,
the 3 side right here, and we're gonna
Goes to
baste
the
it
corner.
at 1/4 inch.
the diagonal.
Okay, so
and
this
top and
is
bottom.
what your
Same thing
piece
with this
looking
side.
like now. The flap already
Here
attached to
and
the
right
back
here. Be really
panel.
careful here.
And then now we're gonna
You don't wanna
install the female side of the
overcut.
magnet.
To do so, we need to measure 4/3/8 from
Start
the
with
left,
the rotary cutter, and I'm gonna
and
finish
then
it off
1
with
inch
my
down.
scissors.
I'm gonna mark right here. So 4/3/8 from the left, 1 inch
Stop
down.
right here.
Right
And then we go diagonal
at the top of that back
bottom
edge.
right here. I'm gonna show it to you. You zoom it in a little bit. There you go. You see how
Same
my
thing on this side.
1 inch mark right at the edge of this gray material meet the sea salt, the green.
So 4/3/8 from the left. As you can see, I used the magnet to help me put everything in place. And I clip all around these 3 sides. We're gonna baste it at 1/4 inch. See the back like this. So don't worry about this part. We're gonna trim it to match the curves. Okay, this is done actually. The back part. Just gonna trim this, match the curve. Okay, and we can put this aside, and we're gonna move on to the front panel. Next, we are constructing our front panel for the bag. Go ahead, grab your front slip pocket exterior, flip them so it's wrong side up. Grab a ruler and your marking pen. We're gonna measure 1.5 inches down from the top. Okay, like that. And then measure again 2 inches down from the top. So now you should have a 1/2 inches gap in between the 2 lines. So now we're gonna measure 1 inch in from the side, from each side. We're gonna complete a box here. Okay, now we got our box. We're gonna draw a line in between this box, because this box is 1/2 inches gap, so the middle line's gonna be 1/4 inch. Right here. All right. Now we're gonna measure 3/8. We got 1/4 inch line in the middle right there. We're gonna measure 3/8 from each side, from the left and from the right. 3/8 in from the left and 3/8 in from the right. Get it better. There you go. I can see 3/8 from here. Right there. And 3/8 from here. Then we're gonna make a diagonal from this corner to this point. Same thing on this side. Draw here, draw here. Okay. That's what the drawing looks like now. So now we're going to cut. We're going to cut a slit right here. The middle line goes to the corner, the diagonal, and top and bottom. Same thing with this side. Right here and right here. Be really careful here. You don't want to overcut. I'm gonna start with the rotary cutter, and I'm gonna finish it off with my scissors. Stop right here, and then we go diagonal to the edge. Same thing on this side. Perfect. Now grab your 1/4 inch or smaller DSD. You can apply it all around the box. All around the box. Okay, let's peel the backing of this DSD. All 4 of them. Now we're gonna fold. Fold this back. Fold this down right here. Fold the top up. the side also. So now we have our opening for our pocket. This is what it looks like from the front. Okay, now we're gonna need the front pocket lining, and then we're gonna put DSD again on the top and the bottom, on top of that folded edge. I like to go from here. Okay, now we're gonna peel the one at the bottom first. There. And then this is our lining. We're gonna flip it so it's wrong side up. And we're gonna stick the short side down on the one that's the bottom right here. Align the side. See, it matches here. There we go. Stick. Now we're gonna flip and we're gonna top stitch. Gonna stop stitch from here and stop right here. Don't back stitch. You're gonna leave your thread long and then we're gonna tie it to the back. As you can see, my thread is long right here. I'm gonna start lowering my needle. And stitch an 1/8 seam allowance right here. It's a top stitch. One more stitch and stop. Same thing, don't back stitch here. And make a long thread. You see where it stopped right there? Now we're gonna tug the back right here to pull the thread and tie them off. Just like that. Let's tie this. A couple of knots, good. Okay, I'm gonna head back to my table so I got a good flat surface and continue. Okay, this is where we at. Go ahead, flip it. Gonna bring the lining back down. You want to press it really well right here. And then we're gonna peel the backing, the DSD backing on the top part. Like that. And we're gonna fold this lining up, pass, and stick it to that DSD. Just like that. That's what it looks like from the front. So now we're gonna continue our stitch Same thing, do not backstitch, leave a long thread. We're gonna start from here and we're gonna go up to the right and go back down, and then we're gonna tie off the thread to the back. I have my long thread. I'm gonna put my needle down where earlier when we stopped. Try to put it in the same hole. There you go. And go up. Let's see. I think I can go up one, like half a stitch. It's right there. And then twist. Keep going. One more. Okay. Rotate. And stitch down. And try to meet that same hole right there. Perfect. Needle out. There's the long thread again. Okay. Now we're gonna pull this thread to the back. Just tight. Just like that. I'm gonna tie them off. It's almost done. Okay, now we're gonna install our magnets. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. Now I'm gonna measure. I'm gonna install the magnets. So I'm gonna measure. Oh, find your midpoint first on the top and the bottom. Okay, once you do that, I'm gonna put our rulers right here and measure down 4 3/4. That's the placement of our magnets. 1, 2, 3, 4 3/4, just right here. Okay, I'm gonna get the washer. Okay. That's the cut. We're gonna cut for our prong here. Get this lining pocket out of the way, okay? So you don't cut them. That's good. So I have the female side right here. Okay, let me flip. Let's put our pelt decks down through that prongs, washer, my pliers, down, and hammer, and then duct tape. just need a small one. Let's put it right there. That's it. Our magnet. It's installed. Now, go ahead, grab your slip pocket sides. It's pattern piece B. They cut mirrored. So we're gonna clip this side, right side together, and this side also right side together. And then we're gonna sew this at 3/8 seam allowance. Okay, let's do that. Things align. On this side. Make sure you catch that lining in the back when you sew this, okay? Once you sew the sides, it's automatically, we're gonna sew close the lining pocket as well. Let's see. Yeah, so when this is gonna get sewed 3/8, it will close our pocket. Okay, one side down. Now let's go on the other side. Same thing, 3/8. Okay. Now let's check our pocket. See, our pocket is sewn close now, so you should have a completed pocket here. So now we're gonna open the sides out, and then we're gonna top stitch this. We're gonna top stitch the side and have the seam allowance towards the side. Like this. Like that. good. Now we're gonna move on to the other side. Same thing, just fold it out like that and top stitch. Well, the front panel is done. Okay, now the front panel is done. Let's talk about the tag, your logo tag placement. I've been putting mine on the gusset piece on the side, but I've seen one of the testers putting their logo down here just below the flap, and it looks nice. So I'm gonna try that for this bag. I'm gonna measure from the middle. I'm gonna measure 2 inches up. Okay, I'm gonna use the washer. Okay, now I'm gonna cut that prong. Be careful, now you have the pocket here, so when you want to cut this slit, get your lining out of the way. There you go. Okay, put my tag in there. Oh, this thing. There you go. Okay. I put my Peltex, my washer. I don't need pliers on this one. This one's really soft. There you go. Make sure they're straight. Pretty good. And again, duct tape. Okay, let's test it. So we have our finished back panel and flap right here. I'm gonna put the magnet down to meet. And the metal sections right here. Wow. Well, well, well. They look pretty. Looking good. So our next step will be the gusset and the base. It's halfway, and then we're gonna do lining and strap.